Today we're going to be fixing how hot it gets in that rear trunk and for that matter the frunk on the C8 Corvette, and we're only going to spend about 75 bucks. So let's go check it out in this video. So thanks for tuning in, guys, and like I said, we're going to be fixing the heat issues that come from that rear trunk and the front trunk. It's actually a common issue where, especially that rear trunk, it gets really freaking hot, especially with that engine right next to it, and it's not properly heat shielded or insulated. And that's an issue with all the different variants between the C8 Stingray, the Z06, the ERAY, all of them have that same issue. But the Z06 in particular, and the ERAY for that matter, also have the same issue of it also getting really hot in that front. And it's because there's the extra radiator in the front that's also just, radiating heat on that front. And I took some temperature readings after taking a 20-minute drive in about 90-degree weather and coming back, and it turns out that that rear trunk was getting up to 140 degrees Fahrenheit, with the front trunk getting to up to 120 degrees. So that's ridiculous. You can put normal stuff in there, but if you want to go like grocery shopping or something like that, you had ice cream or whatever, all that ice cream in like a 10-minute drive is going to be melted, and it's just going to be miserable. It's going to melt into your car, into your trunks, and that's just even worse. But today we're going to be fixing that, so at least that it is manageable. It's not going to be like AC type cold, but it is not going to be, freaking 140 degrees. It'll be more like 95 degrees, like whatever the ambient outside temperature is, kind of deal. And we're going to be doing that for about 75 bucks to do both the rear and the front kind of deal. And it's super easy. The job will take maybe an hour, not even, and probably could get done in 30 minutes. I don't know. I'm going to actually see how long it takes me, but it's a super easy job. I'm going to show you how to do it as well. But let me show you exactly what we're going to be doing and how it's going to all come about. So first off, let me open up the trunk area for both the front and the rear. So we'll look at the front real quick first. So what we're going to be doing is essentially heat shielding this whole entire front area. So we got to take that front out. Super easy job. I'll show you exactly how to do that. It literally just takes like 4 or 5 bolts, I believe, have to be removed, and then it comes out. For the rear trunk, it's even easier. All we're going to be doing is essentially just taking this liner out and then just heat shielding the liner, this carpet liner kind of deal. I know for my particular case, because I have the even Tory intake with the glass, I'm not going to be able to insulate that. That would kind of defeat the purpose, but at least I can insulate all around it as well as the bottom pieces here, and that's going to make a huge difference. Now, the big thing though is, what am I going to be using in regards to like heat shielding? Well, it's going to be just simply this stuff that I have over here. Let me change my angle right here. So this is 2 different sets of heat shielding that I'm going to be installing. It's also kind of used for like sound deadening, but it's got this reflective aluminum that acts as heat shielding. And this is stuff that you're going to be able to get off of my links in the description. They're really cheap. This only costed me like 28 bucks for all these different panels. One side of it is already that you could just peel this off and it's sticky, and then you just have the heat shielding on here. This is another larger piece that just comes as one giant piece. And like between these two, this only cost me, I think, like 28 bucks, and then this cost me like 38 bucks. So all in all, it really is like less than 70 bucks. Really cheap to be able to put these in, and it's all DIY friendly. You could definitely do this in your garage, and we're gonna show you it's not gonna take you any kind of bit of time, but I'll have links in the description if you're interested in this, because this is going to make a huge difference, at least keeping the temperatures to like a reasonable like level, not stupid levels of 120, 140 degrees. And we're going to show you how much of an improvement it is. Kind of deal. Now I have to drive it home that this is not going to make it like you have AC in your trunks. It's not designed to do that. But what it is going to do is give at least those areas a fighting chance of actually staying a reasonable temperature, and not just something that is just like, stupid hot all the time. At least it'll be like somewhere like 90, 95 on a hot day, rather than 140 degrees and nothing that you have in there is going to like survive, So that's my big thing. But in any case, that's essentially what we're gonna do. So we're gonna work on the front first, and then work on the rear trunk and show you how that looks. And then I'll be able to show you how much lower the temperatures are. So let's go ahead and get started and put this heat shielding into the C8 Z06. Alrighty guys, so we have finished installing the heat shielding on the rear trunk and that frunk area on the C8 Z06, and it actually has made quite a bit of difference. Now, I took about a week and logged a whole bunch of my different trips, all like that were about the same time frame of about 20 minutes, and just looked at the starting temperature for both the rear trunk and the frunk, and then the ending temperature of wherever I was going, along with other variables like what was the ambient temperature when I first left and all that kind of stuff. And the numbers actually astonished me. What I ended up finding out was that there was about a 60% heat reduction in both the rear trunk and that frunk by doing this heat shielding. It made a massive, massive difference. And all for like under $100 really, meaning that in the same amount of time, I was almost able to reduce the amount of heat that was building up to a third of what it was before. And I'll show you some of the numbers, but considerably cooler. Now I'm gonna put this out there as a caveat that this is heat shielding. It's not like you're getting AC in like the rear trunk or the frunk. It is basically whatever temperature you're starting off with, we're trying to reduce how much hotter it gets in those rear trunk and frunk. So that's what's going on. So before I put any heat shielding, my general baseline was about almost 50 degrees hotter in the rear trunk and then about 30 degrees hotter in that frunk from just a 20-minute drive. Both my frunk and my rear trunk starting off at like maybe 90 degrees temperature, because it's like 90, 95 here in Texas at this point. But by the end of it, it was like 140 degrees in that rear trunk and then like 120 degrees or so in that frunk. But after installing the heat shielding and taking about a week to get some proper measurements on multiple trips, all of them being like the same 20 minutes, around the same temperature, around 90, 93 degrees, 95 in some cases. And what I found is that I had about a 60% improvement in my heat reduction. And mind you, one of the things I found out was that the hotter that the initial temperature of those trunk and frunks were, the less efficient it was. But if it's cooler, it actually stays cooler for longer compared to what it was before, which is a drastic improvement. And so it's definitely making a huge difference. And then a couple of little extra things that I want to mention is that originally I was using a certain kind of heat shielding that was a little bit thicker because it had like foam, sound deadening foam in it that I really didn't need. I just needed the heat shielding, which ironically was like a little bit more expensive. So I was trying to go with the cheaper option. But if you are trying to do this for yourself, which is definitely doable, you definitely want to spend a little bit extra to get just the thinner heat shielding material, because the frunk especially is a little bit tighter than I expected to try to fit in that heat shielding along with the frunk. So, so something to kind of keep in mind if you want to be able to get really, really good heat shielding that's not going to get caught up when you have to like kind of start cutting away pieces of heat shielding just to get it to fit. Using this other material that I found also off of Amazon, it's still really relatively cheap, will be definitely the way to go. But all in all, you could definitely take care of that rear trunk and the frunk for that matter for under $100 easily, and have it that those areas are functional and not just radiating so much freaking heat you can barely keep a water bottle in there. Again, I'll have links in the description so you could check it out for your ride. It's definitely something you could do as a DIYer kind of deal. I wouldn't even try to take this to a dealership because they're just going to charge you for something that's really, really easy. You literally only need like a pair of scissors and a couple of like hand tools. That's it. You saw in the video. It did not take me that much effort to do this. But yeah, I'm really glad to be able to have it that now I can actually use my rear trunk and my frunk area, at least to do the simple grocery shops and stuff like that. So it's not like my ice cream is not completely melting by the time I get home in just that short trip. So I hope you guys found this useful. I know I did, and I'm glad that I did this video. So in any case, hope you enjoyed the video. If you like this video, please check out any of my other videos, and we'll see you next time. Take care, guys.